Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 9th season for the Walking Dead television series. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on acceptance. Acceptance of what? So spoiler warning, if you don't want to know anything about season 9 and you haven't been, all this stuff that we've been doing for like 2 months now, this kind of thing. So yesterday we did a fun look back. If you missed it, we did a reaction video to the very first trailer for the Walking Dead television series, and I'll have it in the end screen videos for you guys here if you didn't get a chance to watch it with me. Always enjoy when we have time to take a chance to watch some of those kind of good old moments of the Walking Dead. And Josh Brown here sent through a comment which got quite a bit of thumbs up. He said, reminiscing about the good times. That's stage 7, acceptance. Trev, so proud of you. So, and just to kind of follow along with that, we'll get into some of your guys' Q&A questions for today. But, it's true, man. I mean, it was a lot of fun to do that video. And some people asking, like, Trevor, you run out of content or something? Is that why you decided to do this one? It's like, no, man. I mean, one of the good things about, kind of having these breaks in between Fear the Walking Dead episodes and The Walking Dead, because Fear is coming up pretty soon, and, this next weekend will be Comic-Con. We'll have lots of stuff to do about that, but one of the fun things is sometimes we get to look back at some of the best moments of the series and some of my favorite moments to kind of reflect on them. So in this one, I just felt like it was like, I felt compelled to do it. I had the idea for a little while, and it does take a while to do these types of videos with you guys, reaction videos and stuff. So, it takes a couple hours for encoding and everything like this to go through. So I finally had a chance to do it yesterday, and so we did the video, and I think it was a lot of fun to watch that with you guys, and just to see all your different comments and stuff about the series and how you're feeling right now. Looking back on the very first trailer that the series started with, before it even aired, like back in 2010. So I enjoyed that yesterday. I thought it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, what Josh is saying is somewhat true here. I feel like I'm starting to kind of come to terms with it, right? I mean, we don't know it to be 100% fact, right? We'll see what this trailer looks like, next week. I think there'll be a lot of kind of telling or details in that for what we can expect from this season coming up. And, I mean, it's still a question, spoiler warning, will Rick be killed off or not? Will he leave or not? He's... Based on what we've seen so far, it looks like he's either leaving or he's going to be killed off. One of the two is going to happen, so it's kind of arguable right now to which one it's going to be. We kind of know from recent interview I did a video on 2 days ago about Lauren Cohan that she's definitely leaving and as Maggie, and she might be coming back after. She wants to come back, but who knows what will happen with that. Even though she wants to come back, if her other series gets picked up for a second season, if it becomes ongoing, and she's in every episode, I mean, that's a great opportunity for her. So she might not be able to. So it's like with season 9, we're not just losing probably Rick, but we're also going to lose Maggie as well, too. And then, of course, it's Walking Dead. So somebody's always going to die, right? So, it's going to be a crazy season to see what happens this season. So I'm looking forward to it in one way, but in another way, I'm kind of like scared because, I don't want to see Rick get killed off of The Walking Dead. When you look at that first trailer, is that not the whole premise of the original series to start with, is that the show is supposed to be about Rick, right? I mean, it starts off with him. You watch the first trailer, you see the dead are all there, but he's at the forefront at the very beginning, and he's part of what made The Walking Dead work from the very start, whereas you look at something like Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead's had all the zombies, and they've had all the stuff that, in terms of the environments, they've maybe even had better environments than the Walking Dead TV series had. They were able to show different places, they were able to go to a different country, come back, build huge environments for that series in the first few seasons. But it never caught on the same way The Walking Dead did. Now, it's done okay, it's done all right, but it never did like a 17 million view episode or a 15 million where everybody was talking about it, everybody wanted to see it. And when you watch that first trailer from The Walking Dead's first season, it's hard to argue that the reason for that, isn't the characters. When you see Rick and you see Morgan and those initial characters from The Walking Dead series, even after just watching a trailer that's 4 minutes long, it just feels like it's obvious as to why people gravitated towards the series. Rick's story and the character that Rick is. The Dead movies have been done before. George Romero, rest in peace, as we talked about yesterday, he did lots of zombie movies, right? There was lots of them. But the thing that I felt like was always missing from those movies, and he wasn't allowed to have the characters carry over between them. There was licensing and things like this that caused him not to be able to keep the characters long running through the different movies, at least for the original 3 in that. They never had great characters like that. They never had like a Rick of the Dead movies. I mean, there was different characters in them, but there was never anybody that I think was as good of a character as Rick. I mean, who can't relate to someone trying to find his wife, trying to find his son, and then after he found them, trying to protect them in a world where that's basically impossible, and eventually losing both of them. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're starting to feel like, okay, I get it. This is going to happen. It sucks, but there have been lots of amazing seasons of The Walking Dead that we've had. Lots of incredible episodes. Great story arc for Rick. And in some ways, I'm kind of glad. If The Walking Dead TV series is going to outlive Rick, and it looks like it will, one way or another. I'm glad that they're not ending it. I guess I'm glad it's going on further. I know a lot of you guys are opposite on that. You're like, no, when Rick dies, you should just end it. And I get it. When you watch that first trailer, it's like, yeah, you get it. Like it should. You feel like it should end with Rick. If Rick's going to be killed off this year, then that should be the series. The series should end at that point. So, totally understand that, especially after yesterday and reminiscing a bit and looking back on that. So, totally get that. So we'll see how the series, continues on afterwards. It definitely won't be the same, right? Like if they do kill Rick off, if he doesn't just leave and then come back in Commonwealth or something, leave on a helicopter or something like this, whatever theory it happens to be, go look for Morgan or whatever the idea is. If he is in fact killed off, and that's it for him, and he decided that this is who he was. He was a man looking for his wife and looking for his son. He found them. He defended them as long as he could. Eventually, Carl didn't make it. He didn't stay in the damn house or stay in the damn gates of Alexandria. And he got bitten, and as a result, he died. And Rick, dies the following year, the following season in real world time. So, I'm totally accepting of that. If that's what's got to happen, that's reality. That's what's got to happen. We'll see how the whole thing plays out, man. I really hope it isn't. But I feel like I'm coming to terms with it now, and I'm like, well, we can still enjoy the series anyway. That initial story arc for him, that whole character focus on Rick all the way through all those seasons, it's going to feel really weird, man. To switch off from that. I really don't know how people are going to respond to it. Maybe it will be the end of The Walking Dead. I hope it won't. I hope the series can still continue on, because even though Rick has been at the forefront and he's your top A-lister, he's your number one out of the whole series. There was other stuff that was brought in that was really entertaining and really great. Negan is a character that I always thought was very entertaining. Whether you hate him or you love him, he's another great character that's been brought in. We'll see what they can do with Daryl. Can they make Daryl interesting again? Because I feel like it's been a little while that he hasn't really been that interesting, in a couple years maybe. So we'll see if they can bring him back into the forefront. We'll see, if Denai Guerrero, Michonne is going to stay and what she's going to be able to do. We'll see, Carol's still there as well too, and all the others that have kind of come on, after those in those later seasons in the last few years as well too. We'll see what they have. I mean, they still have the Robert Kirkman comic book series to base it on. They might not have Carl. If they lose Rick, they won't have Rick. But we'll see what they can do with it, and we got to give Angela Kang a chance. She's coming in to a shitstorm, I think, of a season with these people leaving, and just kind of how the series has been received the last couple of years. She's going to have to do a damn job, man, because that's going to be a tough position that she's taken on. But I appreciate that she's doing that for us, and that she's going to give it a shot and see how this thing goes. And we definitely, I think we owe it after this many seasons to at least give them a shot, to at least give them a chance. It's going to be tough for sure, and just see how it goes. So yeah, man, I know how you guys are feeling. I see the community right now and how the community of The Walking Dead is feeling after these last couple months with all the news coming out. Everybody's kind of down on the series. Everybody's kind of like, abandoned ship kind of deal. But it's like, let's see what they got, right? We can't judge too quickly. Let's see what they got. And let's see what they can do if circumstances are such that there's nothing they can do about it. Rick's gonna go. Rick's gonna be killed off or leave. What are they going to be able to do in his absence? How is this going to go? And will they be able to keep it going without him after this season? So let's see. Leave your comments below and let me know how you guys are feeling right now emotionally after yesterday's video, and also just all the news Are you accepting of it? Are you still like, no, you just logically, you just think it's not going to happen? What do you think? Let me know what you guys think. Ivan Angeli says, sounds like you were saying goodbye to the series, Trev. And, I'm not saying goodbye to it, totally. What I'm saying is that this is what it was. This is how it was. It was, the most enjoyable series for me that I've ever seen. It was a hobby. It was really, really fun. And now it's going to have a new, a rebirth or a new version, right? So it's going to continue on. And it's not gonna have that core same focus that it did originally in terms of the survivors, who they are, or anything. It's going to be different people. So we'll see if they can live up to kind of, or even close to what it was before and what it has been in its good times. So yeah, Joey thakid says, Trev, after looking back at the season 1 trailer, do you find it sad that a show with such potential turned into a complete shit show? So for Joe, I don't feel like the last 2 seasons have been total shit. I enjoyed season 8. I enjoyed all the constant action all throughout the season. Some good twists and turns, especially at the end there with a nice twist. There's only so much they can do with television series with an all-out war. They only have so much time to film, these episodes and everything. So I felt like they did a pretty good rendition of the comic book series version of All Out War. But I also know that a lot of the fan base does not feel the same way. They didn't enjoy season 8 that much. Season 7 is probably the most hated season of the show ever. For one reason or another, by the time that season ended, a lot of people had switched their mind on Walking Dead and decided, like, okay, I don't know about this. And we'll see if season 9 is even worse. How are people going to respond if they do kill Rick off or if he leaves? Like, what's this? What is this going to do to the rest of the fan base? Is it going to clean up the rest, or like, what will happen? And that's going to be exciting to watch and see through just how things go. But am I saddened with what's happened with the series in the last couple of years? I mean, I'm saddened to see how it's been received, right? Like how people have responded to it, because I do feel like they're trying their best. I think I don't think that they're holding back or they're not trying to make great seasons for us with season 7 and season 8. I don't know, man. I mean, more than anything, when you look at the amount of episodes that have been on of The Walking Dead, like fatigue, it's got to be the biggest thing. Like when you look back to that, you think that was 2010. I mean, the world is a totally different place now, these years later. Even YouTube is completely different from what it was back in 2010. So content is different. There's more shows on. There's Netflix. There's all this competition in terms of other TV series that are on, Stranger Things and Game of Thrones and all this stuff, which in some capacity they were there earlier too. But video games have gotten even much better in the last 8 years. So that market that they're going for is changing. And as such, man, it's they did great for a long time. They had it going good for quite a while, and then eventually the fans, a good portion of the fan base, decided to turn on it. It's just what happened. I think fatigue is the biggest reason, but you could argue, decisions like killing Carl off. You could argue season 7 with bottling all these things off and stretching the Negan storyline. That's a big one you could argue really well and make some good points for, is stretching the Negan All-Out War storyline to 2 full seasons when maybe you should have done it in a season and a half or something like that, and then moved on from it more quickly. That worked well for season 5 when they moved past it quickly. I wanted to see more of All Out War, and I thought that would be cool to see the whole season through. But maybe I was wrong in that. Maybe they should have kind of gone through that more quickly and moved on, and maybe the audience would have responded better to that. I don't know. A couple more here. Fundamental Medium says, Angela Kang didn't outright confirm that Andrew Lincoln is leaving, although she may as well have. Also, she said that Lauren Cohan has expressed interest in returning to the series, so maybe she won't be killed off this season. What do you think, Trev? Well, she could be purposefully misleading us on purpose. So maybe Maggie could still be killed off, but based on what she said, it sounds like the door will be left open, that she could possibly return. How do they get her out? Can they use the Commonwealth to kind of pick people from, the current list of survivors and then have it be like they're kind of out there in the world, and then eventually we see them return when the Commonwealth comes back in or something? Something like that makes sense. And for Rick, maybe that's what they'll do. But if Andrew Lincoln feels adamant that his story is over, and you watch that initial trailer and you see, like, that's his story, that's the start, are we going to see the end now after Carl? It's like, it's hard to argue that it doesn't make sense that this is the end, right? So crazy stuff. James W. says, season 1, when zombies were an actual threat and teenage girls didn't kill rooms full of them with a pocket knife. So it's true, man. Sense2D says, how did The Walking Dead get to the boring dead? I think everything has a shelf life, Sense. You know, no matter what they do, they did a pretty damn good job, especially in seasons like 4, 5, 6, and then start to 7, and then, you know, after that, I guess, I don't know, man. It got so big. It's kind of like when it gets so big, there's only one direction to go, right? And it's hard to kind of keep it up there at the top level there, like they did from 5 to 7, which was a damn job. They did a really good job for that, for sure. And the last one will be from JJ, who says, Trev, do the same for each season trailer. So I won't be able to do like every single season through. You know, what I might do is, if we have some more time after this trailer hits, then maybe, well, of course we'll do one for the trailer for season 9. After that, we might do one for like season 6, which is my favorite, maybe season 5, something like that. Season 4 was kind of fun too as well. But if you guys would like to see like a reaction video to each season's trailer, eventually we could get them done. It's just that it won't be like, you know, 1 week of straight through reactions. You know, I don't think it makes sense to do that. But every once in a while we could do something like that and do a throwback trailer to a particular season. Everyone has their own favorites though. The first season is like a series trailer, right? It's a trailer for the series. If that doesn't work, it doesn't get a second season. So that's why I felt like that one was so important. Which it is, because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten to season 9 without that one working, right? So that'll be it for today's video, guys. Just hanging out with you guys, having some fun. Let me know how you're feeling. What are you thinking about this one right now? You know, did you enjoy the video yesterday? Because personally, I had a lot of fun doing that with you guys, and I would like to do some other season trailers here before it's all done. And even when the series does eventually end, I still plan on making some videos here and there looking back on the series at some point. Like when it eventually wraps up totally, if it's in a few years or whatever, or 2 or 1 or whenever, you know, we'll do lots of videos looking back for, you know, at least a little while, and then eventually we'll move on to probably doing other shows and other stuff, if I can continue past that. And thank you guys for all your support over the years as well, allowing me to do this with you. If you want to support the channel, you can check out the t-shirt store and grab a Trev2 shirt, or check it out on Patreon. I'll have the links in the description to that. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at the bottom left. Thank you guys for everything. Hope you've been enjoying the videos these last couple of months, even though I know, you know, a lot of it's very doom and gloomy, but I'm trying to keep it as upbeat as we can and trying to move forward with at least enjoying, you know, whatever they have for us in the next few years. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.